This is the AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts 2025 full show results video, which takes place at First Horizon Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. The show started with the first ever women's Blood and Guts match between Team Babes of Wrath, Hayter, Kris Statlander, Mina Shirakawa, and Toni Storm versus Team Marina Shafir, Bayne, Mercedes, and Triangle of Madness. The brutal 12-woman cage war kicked off with Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale, who wasted no time brawling from the bell. Willow dominated early, sending Sky crashing into the cage and busting her open. The chaos escalated as Julia Hart entered next, teaming with Sky to double powerbomb Willow and brutalize her in the corner. When Harley Cameron joined as the fourth entrant, dressed as Tifa Lockhart, she turned the tide with chairs and trash cans, pummeling both members of the Sisters of Sin and delivering a cannonball senton into a wedged trash can. Thekla arrived fifth, whipping everyone in sight with her belt, only for Hayter to storm in sixth, bringing tacks and a barbed wire kendo stick. The violence intensified when Bayne entered seventh, demolishing opponents with suplexes and power moves. The ring filled with chaos as Kris Statlander came in eighth, igniting a powerhouse showdown with Bayne. They brawled fiercely until a commercial break paused the carnage. Back in action, Mercedes entered ninth, immediately planting Statlander with a tornado DDT onto the title belt and tossing more belts into the cage as weapons. Mina Shirakawa followed 10th, bringing a barbed wire bat and hitting a Van Terminator on Bayne before teaming with Kris for high-flying offense. The momentum shifted again when Marina Shafir entered 11th, introducing a bed of nails and brutally kicking Statlander into it, then removing her shoes for added menace. Finally, Toni Storm entered 12th to officially start the match beyond. Armed with pearls and later glass-taped fists, Storm went wild, taking down multiple opponents with Mina by her side. The two dominated briefly until Mercedes kissed Storm before hitting the Moanmaker. Cameron retaliated with brass knuckles, and chaos exploded once more. Hart and Thekla attacked the referee to steal the key, Mercedes tossed bodies out of the cage, and Statlander delivered a stunning Samoan drop off the truss through a table. In the final act, Storm and Mina suplexed Shafir into broken glass, but Marina shockingly hurled a mirror at Storm's face, cutting her open. Shafir then stomped Mina's hand with glass-loaded feet to break a submission and, with Bayne, Mercedes, and the Triangle of Madness, dominated the ring. Facing the torture of watching Mina being beaten mercilessly, Toni Storm surrendered, giving the victory to Marina Shafir, Bayne, Mercedes, and the Triangle of Madness in a blood-soaked war of attrition. After the match, Shafir's music starts to play as the heels continue to gang up on Shirakawa until the referee intervenes. Shafir's music then starts back up as commentary talks about what just went down. Back from commercial, chaos erupts on the loading dock as the Don Callis family ambushes Jurassic Express. Despite Jungle Man and Luchasaurus' resistance, they're overpowered before Okada and the Young Bucks emerge. Josh Alexander warns they're sending a message in return. Callis declares Kenny Omega returns next week, hinting the Bucks have joined the family. Okada says, "Decision time," and the uneasy Bucks reply, "We'll see you next week." Then we saw a Falls Count Anywhere match between Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Will Hobbs. The intense clash between Hangman Adam Page and Powerhouse Hobbs began with both men tearing off turnbuckle pads, signaling a brutal fight ahead. They traded heavy strikes until Hobbs overpowered Page with raw strength, slamming him into the barricade and apron. Page briefly fought back, but Hobbs regained control, delivering a devastating World's Strongest Slam onto the steel steps before the commercial break. Afterward, Hobbs looked to finish things with a running power slam, but Page countered, sending the fight outside. On the announce table, Hobbs attempted another slam, but Page reversed it with a back body drop to the floor. The brawl spilled into the crowd, where Hangman hit a spectacular Orihara moonsault off the steps. Back in control, Page tried the Deadeye, but his injured back failed him, allowing Hobbs to counter with a spinning spinebuster through a table, yet Page still kicked out. In the climactic sequence, the fight moved up into the stands. Page battled free, removed his boot, and charged full speed, booting Hobbs off a balcony through an electrical table. Hangman covered for the pinfall victory in a shocking, hard-hitting war. Post-match, Katsuyori Shibata attacks Page from behind. Samoa Joe is in the ring with a chair, and Shibata throws Hangman in with him. Joe wallops him, and Katsuyori puts boots to him. The cage starts lowering, but Eddie Kingston and Hook rush down to make the save and slide in as Samoa runs away. Page gets on the mic and says if Joe wanted him inside a steel cage, all he had to do was ask, "Dumbass." He tells him to leave Shibata at home and Hobbs in the hospital, and he'll see him in a steel cage match at Full Gear. After the commercial break, Toni Schiavone stood in the ring at the historic Greensboro Coliseum, calling it the greatest wrestling venue in the world. He introduced a true legend, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Schiavone reminisced about Steamboat's classic moments on TBS, including tag title wins with Paul Jones and Dustin Rhodes, while Steamboat thanked TBS and fans, naming Flair, Dusty, Sting, and himself as Greensboro's Mount Rushmore. He shared a story about Ric Flair recognizing his potential early in his career. Their moment was interrupted by FTR and Stokely Hathaway. Steamboat praised Dax Harwood, recalling their work together, while Hathaway flattered Steamboat before joking about being confused for Denzel Washington. He invited Steamboat to Full Gear and teased him about having Macho Man's number. Cash Wheeler respectfully recalled teaming with Steamboat, but Dax's tone shifted. He mocked Steamboat's intelligence and finances, claiming to be a bigger legend than him. Tension exploded as Steamboat confronted Dax face-to-face. After pretending to de-escalate, FTR attacked Steamboat, beating him down and setting up a spike piledriver until Brody King and Bandito rushed in for the save. Bandito nailed Wheeler with the 21-plex, King sent him flying with a lariat, and Steamboat fired back with fiery palm strikes, standing tall with his allies. In the main event of the show, we saw a men's Blood and Guts match between Team Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, and the Conglomeration versus Team Death Riders. The Blood and Guts match opened with Darby Allin and Wheeler Yuta, who immediately brawled inside and outside the cage. Darby used his tack-covered skateboard to bloody Yuta before hitting a Yoshi tonic. Orange Cassidy entered next, stabbing Yuta with broken sunglasses and nailing a tornado DDT. Daniel Garcia followed, choking Allin and teaming with Yuta to punish their opponents with steel chains. Roderick Strong replaced the injured Mark Briscoe, storming in with backbreakers on everyone before Claudio Castagnoli entered, dominating with a giant swing, carrying Cassidy. Kyle O'Reilly joined next, unleashing suplexes and submission holds, battling Claudio in a furious exchange. When Jon Moxley entered, he unleashed pure chaos, using a fork to stab multiple opponents and dragging it across Allin's back before pulling out glass, tacks, and barbed wire. As the violence escalated, it was revealed that Mark Briscoe had been attacked by the Don Callis family. Despite that, a bloodied Briscoe limped out later with bolt cutters and a toolbox, rejoining the fight. He climbed the cage and battled Yuta atop it, eventually hitting a J-driller on the cage roof. Meanwhile, chaos erupted outside as Gabe Kidd appeared, attacking Allin and helping Pac throw him off the stage through flaming tables. Back in the ring, Cassidy hit 4 orange punches, while Strong and Briscoe smashed opponents through tables. In the final moments, Kyle O'Reilly trapped Jon Moxley in a devastating knee bar, forcing the submission. Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe triumphed in a blood-soaked war. How would you rate this year's AEW Blood and Guts show? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching.